What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Monday, May 15th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 10-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. I got a super value play for you here at pitcher. Take a look at Dane Dunning, and he's got a nice pitching advantage here over the Atlanta Braves. Now, Dane Dunning pitching really well so far this season, only giving up a .537 OPS versus righties. He's facing 5 righties here tonight, and the Braves have only hit 2 of his last 26 pitches. It's a .077 batting average. So, with all those stats there, you would think he's 8,000-9,000 salary. No. Dane Dunning, only 6,800 FanDuel salary, 500 less on DraftKings. Now, he's averaging 17 fantasy points per game on the season, but he scored 37 and 24 fantasy points in the last 2 games. He has an ERA of 1.72. His record is 3-0. Now, he's only pitching an average of 49 pitches per game, so he's got to be on point to get those fantasy points. But you see, last game, he scored 37 and 24 the game before that. So I think for a low salary play here, I think he's got some upside. So I like Dane Dunning as a high-risk, high-reward pitcher play here versus the Atlanta Braves. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. So here's a stud pick here. You're going to have a lot of salary in your lineup if you do play Dane Dunning. Oh, I just wanted to mention Dane Dunning pitched 6 innings last game and 5 innings the game before that. Now, before that, he only pitched 3 innings. So that's why his pitches per game is so low. But if you can get 5 to 6 innings out of Dane Dunning, and the Atlanta Braves don't knock him out of the park here, I think he could be an interesting play. So back to the catcher, first base position. The stud pick is Paul Goldschmidt. He's got a 10% batting advantage over Freddie Peralta. Paul Goldschmidt batting a .921 OPS versus righties. Freddie Peralta pitching 13% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .692 OPS versus righties. So Paul Goldschmidt is 7 for 19. It's .368 batting average and a 1.271 OPS versus Peralta. He's got 2 home runs and 3 doubles out of those 7 hits. He's 4,100 FanDuel salary, 2,000 more on DraftKings, averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .312, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. Last 3, looks like he scored 13 fantasy points in each of those games in his last 3 games. So he's been on fire. I think he could have a big night here tonight. So I like Paul Goldschmidt here versus Freddie Peralta. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. So another stud pick here is Jonathan India. He's got a 27% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Connor Seabold. Jonathan India batting 25% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .883 OPS versus righties. Connor Seabold giving up a .853 OPS versus righties. And Jonathan India is 2 for 3 here versus Seabold with a 1.334 OPS. So he's 4,100 FanDuel salary, 1,500 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. Scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. Has a batting average of .295. And I like this pick because Vegas thinks there's going to be 11 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So you just got to imagine Jonathan India is going to get a piece of that action. So I like Jonathan India here versus Connor Seabold. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. So I like Wilmer Flores. And he's got a 9% batting advantage over Bailey Falter. Wilmer Flores batting 32% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .927 OPS versus lefties. Bailey Falter, he's giving up a .787 OPS versus righties. Now, Wilmer Flores is 1 for 1 here versus Falter, and I like this pick because he's only 2,800 FanDuel salary, same price on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, has a batting average of .248. I think he's a decent value play here tonight. So I like Wilmer Flores here versus Bailey Falter. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. So a stud pick that I like is Bo Bichette, but you want to save some salary here. Take a look at Kyle Farmer. He's got a 31% batting advantage over Noah Syndergaard. Kyle Farmer batting 39% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .766 OPS versus righties. Noah Syndergaard giving up a .755 OPS versus righties. Now, Kyle Farmer is 2 for 6 here versus Syndergaard with a .833 OPS. But I like this pick because he's only 2,600 FanDuel salary, 500 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. Now, he's got a batting average of .286, which is pretty good. Then take a look at his last 5 games, scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He's got a 10, a 22, and a 25 in there. So some big numbers, and it is super low salary here and what looks to be a pretty decent matchup. So I like Kyle Farmer here versus Noah Syndergaard. Now, Trey Turner also looks underpriced here on FanDuel at only 3,000 FanDuel salary. So just wanted to point that out. Moving on to the outfield position, let's see who we got.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
I think we got a value play here at the outfield position, or what happened? Where's my outfielder? Well, let's take a look at this live then. Let's go through here. Juan Soto. Take a look at Juan Soto with a 66% batting advantage over Brad Keller. So let me mark off Juan Soto to get in my lineup. So Juan Soto batting 46% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.075 OPS versus righties. So you want to play Juan Soto against those righty pitchers. You don't want to play Juan Soto against those lefties. Some players have a pretty big discrepancy between the two, and it's important to know when they're facing their strong hand. So Juan Soto, 1.075 OPS versus righties. Brad Keller pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters. giving up a .938 OPS versus lefties. That's 20% worse than his other pitches. Now Juan Soto is 1 for 2 here versus Keller. He's $3,500 FanDuel salary, $1,800 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, and 3 of those were big games, 19, 37, and 22. So he's got monster upside, batting average of .255. So I like Juan Soto here versus Brad Keller. Now I also like a guy like Jake Fraley at $3,400, $800 more on DraftKings. He's in that game that Vegas thinks is going to be 11 runs scored in this game versus Connor Siebold. Jake Fraley, he's in a good spot. Some nice outfielders on the slate here tonight. I'll give you one more here. Take a look at Christian Yelich versus Jack Flaherty. Christian Yelich, $3,100 FanDuel salary, $1,600 more on DraftKings. Batting at .290 batting average versus Flaherty, 9 for 31. It's a huge sample size. And a .905 OPS, 2 home runs and a double, 6 singles. So that's looking pretty good. And oh my goodness, look at Christian Yelich. Look at his score log here. His last 3 games, he's just gone bananas, scoring 22, 41, and 34 fantasy points. My goodness. So he is on some kind of a mission here. So I like Christian Yelich here versus Jack Flaherty.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.